everybody, we are back from break with more Dungeon of the Mad Mage. When we left our heroes, they were, dealing with snake bites and having a fun, relaxing day talking to their pseudo dragon and having a heart to heart with one of the most powerful mages in, the Sword Coast. And now we're gonna go on over to Matashtai and see what the alien mage is doing for the day of midwinter.
I'm neither an alien nor a mage. This is bullshit. I feel discriminated against.
The human monk is doing for the day.
Much better. Average monk boy.
Average monk man. Yeah.
So like I was saying, I don't know that I have a lot I want to do. Because I think Matt would have a little trouble partying too much.
Getting into the festivities with all things considered. Yeah.
That's what the drugs are for.
Yeah, just drug up and then just get into it. But I will say he would probably try to take some time to work on see if the Masked Command is around.
Okay.
And see if he can get some practice in, because maybe he'll have to persuade some evil dream spirits.
It is a holiday, so we're gonna make this a roll. Please roll for me a luck check. You're gonna roll a d20. You want an 11 or higher.
How about a 4?
You guys are rolling
on vacation.
A lot of 4s. You hear, right? Like, you go to New Olam's. It's a trek through the city. You hear, right, from a couple of people that are still in and around. There's a lot of activities going on at the academy. A lot of snowball fights. It's a lot of day drinking, honestly. A lot of day drinking at this point in the morning. It's pretty aggressive. But unfortunately, you do hear
we
that
have a lot of alcoholics here.
That the professor known as the Masked Man is currently away. Is attending activities elsewhere throughout the city. Because he is a bard of some renown, and has been hired to do some things. Unfortunately, no dice, but you could leave correspondence for him if you would like to try to do something tomorrow. That type of thing.
Okay. How long are we gonna be up here, guys?
You tell us.
At least 3 days, and I think I think once you're healthy again, we're heading back down.
I petitioned for 5 days after today.
Well, because we got it. I'm trying to remember. Now it's been a couple weeks, and with the baby, I don't have a very good memory now. Who were we looking to do the dream stuff through? Was that someone up here, or was that someone down below?
We were looking at doing the dream stuff through someone. We were hoping to do it through Ashes.
We were told that we would probably need a Sherpa, a dream Sherpa.
Now it's not Ash's people. It's not Ash's people. Ash's people are Salune and the House of the Moon. The individual that was kind of mentioned as the Lady of Dreams by House Breath, by Erlal and Driven, is Sehanin Moonbow, who is one of the elven goddesses, one of the Saladrin. So you would, in theory, need to visit the Pantheon, which is the temple of the Saladrin in Waterdeep.
Oh, I thought that Culp could put us in a drug coma to also get us there.
That was something that was thrown out. Also, also the Worm Riddle, the Night Hag, was an option. Mm-hmm. So, and there's potentially other options that you guys could explore, but that's up to you, basically.
Okay.
So
then, I'm gonna try and send it. I'll leave a note for him to say, "Hey, I'm around for a couple of days. I'm looking to meet up."
Sounds like a plan. All right. Is there? Do you want to do any daily work? Are you working on any talismans or anything?
Yeah, I'll work on some talismans.
Sounds like what? Alrighty then. We hop skip on over to Bones. Bones. What are you doing for the day of midwinter?
All right, so I want to go and I want to I want to mess around in the shop, make it all nice and do a work day, so I can finish my thing.
Sure. The shop is relatively pristine. Oshotu keeps it very clean and relatively well stocked. You can see. You remember you did that day with him, just making stuff for the shop, and that's done well. But those supplies are now starting to run out, basically. And Ochotu is continuing to make things, but it's if you guys have business, it's hard for him to make enough things to keep everything fully stocked.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll work on that in the future days. Also, I want to so while I'm doing my work day, I want to work with him and stuff, and because I'm the leader of the shop. It's really weird wearing headphones. I haven't done this in a long time. So I want to see what he's doing, how he's progressing, and try and help him because that's what's happening.
Sure.
Or that's what's supposed to be happening with us.
Mm-hmm.
And then also towards the end, I want to. I'm not even really sure how to go about this. Towards the end of the day, I'm gonna go down towards Falconmere.
Okay. Do me a favor and roll for me. It can be persuasion or performance.
Okay, sure. I think both of those are exactly the same.
Okay. 15. Decent scenario, right? Just kind of talking through things with Ochotu, working with the lizard folk, who always has a very interesting demeanor, a very kind of deadpan, matter of fact, doesn't get sarcasm kind of situation, but takes instruction very well and is always eager to do, right? Enjoys being productive, and enjoys being taught things. So a pleasant enough day with Ochotu and a successful day. And then you make your way down through the city to the southern ward, to Falconmere Manor. And you can see as you approach Falconmere Manor, you see there's not very many people out and about, but there are a few here or there, and every individual that you see in the vicinity of Falconmere Manor, when they look at the manor, they look at it with annoyed, envious eyes, because you see Falconmere Manor with the giant tree out front in full bloom, green leaves as if it's the deepest of spring. And you hear birds twittering and chirping from the other side of the big ass walls that enclose Falconmere Manor. Everyone around this area, or most people around this area, are used to Falconmere Manor being kind of
bullshit?
On its own seasons. Yes. Bullshit.
Yeah.
Bullshit is a good word for it. But anyways.
That makes sense. All right, so obviously I'm looking to see if people are there. Which I hope, I'm looking for Melanor and Jareth. Jareth is the house, so she's always there.
You walk up to the gate. The gate permits you entry. There are a number of random woodland creatures just kind of hanging out in the courtyard.
Yeah.
There's a full ass fucking family of deer. A couple of rabbits hanging out on the side. There's squirrels chasing each other around the tree. There's multiple birds. There's a field mouse that is just sunbathing on the edge of the fountain, which I say fountain, it's less of a fountain and more of like a pond built into a fountain area, basically. Like it was
Damn, that's
there,
really sweet.
like it was a fountain originally, and then when it became Falconmere Manor, it was like, fuck the fountain. Let's get a little like nature in here. But anyways, yeah, you're able to walk right up to the
Get some
doors.
nature in here.
And after a brief moment, you are greeted by Melanor Felbridge.
Oh, hey, what's up?
Hello, Bones. It is good to see you. Our last meeting was somewhat concerning, potentially fraught in your future, but it looks like things have turned out well.
I don't remember the last meeting.
Pretty sure the last meeting you had with them was about the Sethian Scourges, I think.
Oh, yeah, hey, I remember that. Okay.
And some pretty bad shit. Otherwise, it was maybe about oh, I don't know.
The Green Dragon Man.
Yeah,
whatever
maybe the
that
Green
dude's name
Dragon
is.
Man. Yeah. Anyways.
Yeah, that worked. That's worked out pretty well. You know, all that. You know, it's fine. How are y'all? How's the balance of nature and all that?
Things have been quite okay.
Very good.
He brings
Very
you
good.
in.
I like to hear that.
Does the whole like tea scenario. He's always making tea. He's always sitting you down in the little tea room, and there's that potted plant there. Unlike the outdoors, this potted plant does seem as if it is kind of like in the throes of winter. There is but a single darkened leaf upon the shrubbery that is inside of this pot. And it just kind of like every time there's a slight breeze in the room, the leaf kind of like trembles, and you swear it's just gonna like fly off and the whole thing's gonna wilt.
That's concerning. What's going on with this plant?
Oh.
Did it not get watered, or?
Melanor sticks a finger into the pot, into the soil, and pulls it out, and it's moist, right? He looks at you and says, Jared's just been very active of late, what with the little rivalry and all that jazz. Ah, that was what we talked about last time. Well, our side of what we talked about last time, there was the mage that had attacked the manor, but we've worked that all out since.
Oh yeah, I remember the mage. Okay. The fire, yeah, I remember that. Okay. Hold on. Sorry, PX is biting on me. I'm trying to get him taken care of.
Yep, boy.
He's just
No.
hungry.
He's he's had food.
Yep, boy.
He craves
Okay,
fire.
well, I'm glad to hear that. I hate to be always coming here asking for something.
You are an agent of the Enclave. You give, and we receive. We give, and you.
Sure, yeah, that makes sense.
I feel like Zach was really struggling to not retort something there. Anyways.
No,
Oh, shit.
yes, yeah, that's true. We're just give and take. Okay. Anyway, so I'm trying to get in contact with Jarlaxle.
Melanor's eyes just go wide, and he just blinks at you. What? Why would you want to contact Jarlaxle Bainray?
Well, I'm in a feud with the Drow House.
I repeat my question?
Okay, so I met him towards the end of the whole uh you know heist thing.
Your prior adventures in the city with your allies, Ezrah and the other two. Yes, I'm familiar.
Yeah. Anyway, so um I don't want to oversell this, but I'm having a disagreement with a drow house down there, and I really want them not to receive any kind of help from the other houses.
You are hoping to petition Jarlaxle to cut ties or blacklist said house.
Yeah, blacklist. That's a good way to put it.
We, he gestures to the plant, don't often have direct dealings with many drow, much less those of House Bainray. I know that Jarlaxle typically makes his haunt in Luskan, which, as of right now, we have very little communication with at this time of year. I might suggest a magical missive or communication.
Okay. That makes sense. Yeah, I really didn't know where to go with that one.
I personally am good at finding and communicating to those I'm familiar with nearby, or at least in shorter distances. Kind of like holds out a finger, and a little bird kind of tweets up and lands on his finger and twitters, like sending a little animal messenger, that type of thing. And while Jareth has significantly stronger magics that she can make use of, I'm not sure long distance communication is a particular strong point of hers. He kind of like gives you this sheepish look, like he feels sorry for telling you that he doesn't really think he's got something for you.
No, this has been helpful. Very helpful.
He looks at you with this kind of like quizzical look.
I'm cooking.
You cooking.
Ruminating on the ideas. Indeed. Very well. Is there anything else we could perhaps do for you?
Well, no, I don't think so.
Very well.
Yeah, I think it'll be cool. Is there anything I can do for you guys? I mean, I checked in on what was his name? Not Melanor. That's you.
That's me. Tiralai?
Tenenbrit. Tiralai. That was it. I knew it had a T in it.
Tiralai. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, it seemed fine. No crazy poison.
No changes in demeanor or corruption or different coloration or anything like that.
It's been a few days, a little bit since I've been, but I got my boys checking in on him, so it seems fine.
Very good. Let's perhaps just keep an eye on him on the occasion and make sure that nothing strays in one direction or the other, and that will be well.
That's right. I'm on it for the natural order and all that.
The last thing we would want is a dragon coming up from underneath Waterdeep to terrorize the city.
Well, they can't, right? There's the Dragon Ward.
Well, the Dragon Ward bars them, but they could make a menace against the city itself. Destabilize the underground. There are mythils that help protect the city from those types of things, but yeah, I would rather not risk it if at all possible. And what if he got out beyond the confines of the city and terrorized the countryside?
That's true. It wouldn't do to have those nice bones go to waste.
He just blinks at you again. Blink, 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 blink. Yes, that would be a waste.
Agreed. Almost a crime against nature.
Wow.
It is a crime against nature, and you realize you're talking about two very different crimes against nature.
Makes sense. Yeah.
Yep. Oh.
Okay, cool. Well, this is giving me a direction.
Yeah,
I appreciate that. Oh, hey. No, never mind. I'm good. Yeah,
sure?
I'm good. Well, it wouldn't hurt to ask. Hey, you guys gave me this cool charm last time. And I used a bunch of charges to save my friend from certain doom. Is there any way for you to like recharge this sucker?
He holds out a hand.
I give him the little flowery brooch.
Okay. What the fuck is this flowery brooch? Remind me.
It is the Charm of Restoration flower pendant.
And what does it do?
The charm has 6 charges. You can use an action to expend some of its charges to cast one of the following spells: Greater Restoration or Lesser Restoration.
Cool. How many charges does it have left?
It has 2 of 6 left.
Gotcha. Oh, he kind of like mulls over it and he looks at me. It is not within my power to do so. Normally these types of gifts are offerings of the spirits of nature, and once they are consumed, they are consumed. But perhaps on your way out, go and leave it at the base of the tree and walk away from it and see if any of the kindred spirits do anything, and perhaps that will help.
Okay. I'll do that. Thanks.
Gives you a nod.
See you later.
Indeed. Okay. Cool.
Alright, I'll leave.
Fantastic. On your way out,
I go and do that.
okay. You walk through or around the animals. While you, a 7-foot-tall predator, Tabaxi, walk into this courtyard, now kind of like off the path, with all of these prey animals. Please roll me an animal handling check to see how this goes.
Scare them all.
18, not bad. Okay.
Shockingly good.
Shockingly good, right? Like, truth be told, shockingly good. Okay, you make your way over to the massive tree, which you swear was an oak tree, but is now an elm tree. And was it a willow tree once before when you were here? Questionable.
I distinctly remember it being a willow tree, yeah.
So, you head over, you lay the flower pendant at the base of the tree, back away, and the animal handling check is in fact the check that we were going to roll here. And with an 18, what happens is after a few minutes pass, the animals kind of settle down, they get used to your presence, and invariably one of the smaller critters, a little squirrel, comes down the tree and investigates what's this fucking thing at the base of the tree? What's this? Picks it up, smacks it a little against the root. You hear this kind of like knocking sound, and looks down at it, looks over at you, puts like a little flower bud off of the flower pendant in its mouth, and kind of like gnaws on it, shakes its head, spits, right? Puts it back at the base of the tree, pats it, goes off in search of other fare. Roll 1d4.
A tree.
You head over, pick up the flower pendant. 3 charges are restored. It now has 5.
Wow. Amazing.
Amazing.
Thank you, nature.
There you go, nature. We did a thing.
I'll have to
Also,
try and
just
do
to
more for nature.
get this straight, you just requested Jarlaxle Baneray to impose sanctions on House Avrendar.
That's what he wants
No.
to do. He hasn't done it
I
yet.
don't want sanctions. I want him to like back channel and convince people just to be a little slow with their aid.
Excommunicado.
That's what I want. I want him to do some, vaguely gray Jarlaxle type things. That's what I want.
Which I think is a very interesting. Talk about reaching into the previous campaign and really that's a fucking interesting pull right there, honestly. So, very, very cool. Interesting. Bones, that it for you for now?
That's it for me for now.
You had a work day, spent some time with Ochotu, did some Falconmere stuff. Okay. Did you have something else?
And this is end of the night stuff I have. So
Okay.
after we do whatever we want to do.
All right. So, assuming that everyone reconvenes, early evening. Yikes. Where's my thing? Early evening-ish. There begins a pretty calm party that is held at the Lifted Spirits. By final tally, as the various guests and individuals arrive throughout the evening, once everyone actually arrives and all is said and done, there is actually a bit of a little crowd here at the Lifted Spirits. Of your employees that arrive, Sine, Anoling, Alan, Leandri, all attend. The other employees had other engagements. Ochotu also comes.
Yeah, Ochotu!
Ochotu.
That's how I greet him. Yeah, Ochotu!
And actually, we'll talk about what he is with here in a second. Because
Hutskin Raider.
the guests are not the only guests that arrive. Also in attendance are some of your regulars that have been invited. Individuals that frequent the Lifted Spirits, or that are just known entities, the likes of which are Cruller and Kettleman, which were 2 of the City Guard that helped. I say City Guard. Are they City Guard or are they City Watch? Anybody remember? Cruller, who are
It's
you?
like that's something Mitch should remember.
They are. They are the individuals
Safely
from
assume I do
the 11th squad. They are actually from the City Guard, not the City Watch, but they are
Yeah, the
individuals
11th. We
from
like
the
them.
11th that helped when the tavern got poisoned. And then
Right.
also in attendance is Callow
Good
Harden,
guys.
who is
Hello.
a friend of the party, as
Hello.
well as just a few members of the kind of like people who live here on Troll Skull Alley. Imbric and Avi come,
Hey.
as well as Tally Fellbranch comes as well from the proprietor of the Bent Nail. And each of them, I say each of them, most of them bring their animal companions with them. Cine has a parakeet named Mr. Smithers. You also, I will say this, before the festivities begin, Cine comes in and lights a couple of candles that he has purchased, and explains that the candles smell good, first of all, and
Oh,
they are
God.
minorly magical enchantments that help calm various animals and make sure that accidents do not happen.
Emotion.
Basically,
Animal emotion candles.
yeah. Well, it's the situation where he does not feel concerned bringing his parakeet, Mr. Smithers, to this party, because of these candles. That type of situation. They're very
Fucking
popular around
parakeets.
the city at this time, for this express purpose. Annowing has a little Yorkshire Terrier named Coda. Alan has this kind of like very nondescript, just cat, like just this black cat named Blue. Cruller has a very kind of like Odie style cat named Lila. Leandry actually has an animal that looks quite a bit like Leandry. It is a dog that's looks kind of like Shaggy, like golden Shaggy, like a golden retriever, but it is very much just a mutt. And then we get into some of the more exotic animals that have been brought to the party. I say exotic. Kettleman has a duck named Hawk, who has split up shoes, that he actually walks around in so that his feet don't get cold. Tally is actually probably here very early, so you all get to be acquainted with Iggy, which is a bright, like almost neon green aqualops that very excitedly runs around the lifted spirits. An aqualops is a little dinosaur.
Cool.
Embrick and Avi actually, once they arrive a little late. They give their they kind of like apologize, because when they arrive, people see that they have not brought their pet, their animal, or their animal quote unquote companion. Because even with the candles, it was questionable whether it was going to be a good idea, because Imbric and Avi have a little burnling named Cole that is basically like a little fire spirit, and they're like, maybe not a good idea to just like take that out and about. And then the last thing, aside from Zeltzor, which comes down, right? The last pet that is brought out is actually by Callow, who doesn't seem especially excited to bring out this pet. You find out later that she's only had this pet for a couple weeks now. It was kind of dropped on her. She has a vine snake, and a vine snake is actually like this big, almost vine-like plant creature that is also kind of like a snake. It has like grapes and things that drape off of it, and it looks like it's a vine, but if you reach up towards it, a snake head will pop out and it'll bite you. So its name is Malice, but she calls it Bitey. And the unfortunate thing that turns into a semi-fortunate thing because of Bitey and because of the cats and because of funnily enough, the Yorkshire Terrier Coda, is Ochotu misunderstood the scenario and arrives with 5 dead rats hanging from his hands. Having misunderstood the intention of this particular festivity, but the 5 dead rats do not go to waste, and very happily Bitey, the vine snake, is fed, and the cats they don't really eat the rats, but they play with the rats. And surprisingly enough, not the mutt, not like the actual bigger dog, Carrie, but the little Yorkshire Terrier, Coda, rips into one of these rats, and actually makes a little bit of a mess. It's kind of gross, but, it's easily fixable. Anyways, there is a party. Food is brought out. Little treats and presents are brought out. Not everyone knew what everyone had, and a lot, it's hard to get a specific gift for 10 different pets, but there are a lot of generic toys and little treats and trinkets and things like that that are passed around. And there's just a general air of, happiness and play and enjoyment that happens, that you all are welcome to take part in if you so choose, and if not, that is also okay. Does anyone wish to do anything in particular, or is everyone just kind of like hanging out through these festivities? Good.
Oh, now I'm sad. Gad had an owl.
Yeah, it did have an owl.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's not dead, is it?
I mean,
No.
yeah, but it's not in my care. I don't know anything about it.
Where is it?
It was released.
Yeah, if I
to the
remember
wild.
correctly, it was a scenario where it had been nursed back to health, and when Gad passed, was sent
Released
onwards
unto
to
the
continue.
wild.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ezra
We
just
had-
watches Seltzor interact with.
Seltzor
friends.
is the only entity of these creatures that is, kind of like that sentient, like that
Intelligent.
language speaking kind of creature. The various other animals have various levels of intelligence. The Burnling might have been more like closer to Zeltzor's level of intelligence, but still not quite, right? Mr. Smithers is quite a smart little parakeet, but still a little parakeet.
Fucking
Not
parakeets.
not quite to the point of actually holding a conversation or reading a book, but Zeltzor is able to enjoy himself nonetheless. And as a pseudo dragon, even as a kind of like a hoity-toity mage's pseudo dragon, right? Like that kind of concept, right? He's able to just like throw himself into the fun and like shut the brain off for a little bit and just enjoy himself. So
I assume he's also interacting with owners as.
yeah,
well.
he's spending as much time with people as he is with pets, right?
Yeah.
So yeah. Cool. Anything else that you guys want to do? Your 2 big pets are also here. Oh, I say your 2 big pets.
They are not pets.
I
They
apologize.
are strong, independent dragons.
I was gonna say, actually, your 1 big pet is here. Moss-covered rock near stream is here.
Sorry.
He's not a pet.
And then
Oh yeah, he's totally a pet.
if Matashtai wishes to bring him out, Wolf is here, right? In
Ooh.
whichever form is actually pulled.
Oh, I
But
definitely
yes,
thought you were talking about the dragons.
but yes, I also did mean the dragons. Yes, your 2 current dragon companions, Oranax and Nindeltath, which none of you really decided to keep an eye on throughout this day. And you realize they have been gone all day long in the city. You see as they're coming back, as everyone's kind of like gathering, they're coming back for the evening for the festivities, and they look like they've done some stuff. Oranax looks like he has been drenched multiple times and he still just has this wild smile on his face, right?
So holiday festivities.
Yep.
Got it.
And Nindeltath has, just this very plodding, almost kind of like dour look on his face. He's a little moist. He's got a little like bump right here
Oh no!
from something.
Took an ice ball rather than a snowball to the face.
Sometimes it do happen, right? But they seem pleasant. Oranax is just beaming and having the time of his life because he's having fun and actually getting to participate with people. Nindeltath is somewhat loosened up, right? Like the festivities are good, enjoyable scenarios, so he's doing okay. And that's pretty much it. There is a little ceremony at the end of the night, and the night doesn't go like super late, right? Like this isn't a knock, get smashed kind of celebration. But it starts at probably around 5-ish, as the sun is starting to get low and starts to actually set. And it goes for a couple hours, so probably 8:30, something like that, right? And then there's a small ceremony that is done, a kind of like a small prayer to Shialia, but really it's kind of like this more get all the animals in kind of like a circle and all just kind of like it's almost kind of like a Thanksgiving style scenario, but directed towards your animal companions, right? Like the showing a prayer of thankfulness for them, and hope that they will be with you in the coming year. That whole situation. And then everyone starts to kind of filter away. And it's very relaxed and chill, and a couple people hang out longer, right? Like Cruller and Kettleman Callow kind of like, see if anyone does want to actually break open a bottle of something and chill for a bit. Annawing is more than willing to do so. Alan and Cine hangs around, but is intending on leaving sooner rather than later. But anything anybody else wants to do?
Now, how late did you say this was?
This is probably about 8 or 8:30 as the celebration kind of ends and people start to filter out. So if you're waiting until the kind of like ending of things, now would be the time where everyone else is kind of starting to filter away, and you could cut if you wanted to, without being rude or anything like that.
Yeah. Oh no, I'll wait till like, I guess, moonrise. Like if people are just hanging around, like with Callow and the others, I'll just
Well, I mean, the moon's
out.
up by this point, because it's midwinter, so the days are pretty short. Yeah.
Okay. Well, then I will excuse myself and make my way to the Temple of the Moon. And while on that way, I'll talk to Zalara, and I'll say, how do you feel about the Night of Communion? We haven't tried that in a while, and we're probably not going to be up again for a while, so this might be our only opportunity.
I'm just incredibly insulted that you didn't give me a treat.
A treat?
Oh shit! No treats for her.
What do you mean a treat? How do you? What? How would you?
You didn't even offer
A treat?
Everyone else got treats.
Did everybody else get treats?
All the pets got treats.
You're not a pet.
I'm a companion.
Yes, you're absolutely a companion, but you're not some like.
Mossy got a treat.
Our treat is. I'm taking you to our treat right now.
Ooh. Aren't you the romantic one? I'm taking you to our treat right now. A night of communion. Yay.
Yeah, I grab a handful of kibble and like just gonna tap the blade on.
It's the thought that counts, Ashes.
Look, my genuine thought is we haven't, all of our conversation has just been kind of casual as of late. And I thought maybe this might be an opportunity to test our bonds again, see where we stand.
I think
And
that
it
would
might actually be an opportunity. Like, I'm not like super pious, but like we have this thing with Selune going now, and maybe it'd be a good idea to, I don't know, try to commune or something. See how that shit works.
I think that would be a wonderful idea. I'm just giving you shit.
Yeah. Sure.
Should have got
Alright.
a treat.
Shut up, Zach.
You make your way to the Temple of the Moon. In the meantime, Mitch, just wanted to check in with you. Is there anything that you wanted to do in regards to the little gathering of pets and friends and things like that? Or are you good to just kind of like hang out and relax?
No, I think I just would have gone around, petted all the pets,
Petted all the
Petted all the
pets?
and just to.
Especially the snake vine.
Yeah,
You
make
would've
sure
petted-
you make sure you don't forget Kalos.
I yeet the snake out the window.
Bitey! Bitey actually chills out after eating 2 of the rats. So
She said,
secretly
"No,
just
Ochotu
Spidey."
came in.
There's just 2 large bumps in
There are. Yeah.
Gross.
in the bush. Yeah.
Callow does not look like she's an especially happy owner of this pet, but she's just like, look, it happened.
Someone gave it to her,
Yeah,
and she just
yeah,
stuck
it
with
got
it
pawned
now.
off on her. Absolutely.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
is a favor.
Yes. Yeah. So
Take
She's
that over a
making-
parakeet any day.
making the best of it. How dare you? Mr. Smithers is a wonderful pet.
My sister said parakeets. I would take a snake brush over parakeets any day.
Anyways, okay, cool. Ashes heads to the Temple of the Moon. There is a small celebration being held outside of the Temple of the Moon. It is, I think, probably in conjunction with some of the Joybringers, the disciples of Lyra. So this is kind of like after the Swords Cast Down is kind of completed and more towards the okay, let's actually have some fun side of things. So there's a little bit of like a revelry that hasn't quite turned drunken yet, but shows the signs that it's probably gonna get there. And you are not accosted, but you are encouraged to participate by the various practitioners and individuals as you come up to the House of the Moon. Do you ignore their temptations and continue on into the temple?
I mean, maybe like a polite decline.
Polite decline. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Roll me
Sorry,
a
but that's gonna
persuasion
be a
check. Let's
no
see
for
how
me,
polite
dog.
that decline was.
Let's see how much peer pressure is.
Have him roll a con save. We know how that'll go.
That's true.
Seven.
It's a polite decline. A stiff decline, but a polite decline. The Joybringers that approach you get the message pretty quickly. They're like, oh, not this one. All right. And they kind of like overly usher you on, like, let's get this one through. Okay. This one coming through.
It's Grumpy Pants.
And you're able to make your way
Grumpy.
into the House of the Moon. You're greeted there by attendants who ask if they can assist you. And I'm assuming you just ask for a...
If one of the moon rooms are
Yep.
open.
and that can be arranged. There are several of them. They are typically in use in some way, shape, form, or fashion. But there's typically you can wait a little while and
Yeah, I'll wait.
you done? Make your way in.
Okay.
have a moment. What happens? Talk
All
to
right.
me.
So
What do you
like this is always going to be super awkward because he's not really knowing what he's doing with this shit. So he's like comes up and like I'm assuming there's like the center of the room, moonlight, whatever. Um, pull out Zolara and um, I don't know. I'm like, do I you want to lay on the ground in the light? Should I hold? I don't know what we did the last time.
You want to lay in the ground on
Do
the
you want to
light.
lay in the
Look,
moonlight? Like,
maybe just kneel in the beam and
uh-huh.
hold me like across your knees and in your hands, like laid out. Not like
Yeah. That
that.
sounds
Nope,
good.
not like that. No,
No.
yeah,
Okay.
okay,
Sorry.
yeah, like this. Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
All
Good.
right.
Good. Yeah. So that
God.
don't angle me. Like let the moon
Like knees
actually
start
hit
popping.
the blade. Are you okay?
Ow. I'm fine.
I mean, you could like sit cross-legged instead of kneeling if that's more comfortable.
I mean, crisscross applesauce is probably a little easier.
Okay. Hot. All right.
All right. Okay.
Yes.
And once we get situated, um, like not doing anything out loud. I guess it's not necessary since telepathic link and everything. But
Sure.
um, and I start thinking about the first time we met Salune and like how that all went and very informative and what we talked about. And I don't know, thinking about it was mostly in jest, right? Whenever Zalara was poking fun on her way up here about the treat and whatever, but like all the fights that we had, how we met, and even up now, like a sense of appreciation for having her and her being willing to put up with my bullshit and I with hers.
Sure.
And thinking to the future for the upcoming, definitely not a war, but a battle that I was
All out war.
This is a war. I don't know who told you it's not. It's a war.
that it was absolutely not a war by definition as told by Vadra.
Yeah.
I'm
And,
going to war.
There's like a not a request for protection per se, but just that she watches, she keeps an eye on what we do, and hope that if there is ever a time that she felt like she needed to provide any guidance, that we'd be receptive to that.
Sure.
And yeah, I think that's kind of the general mental headspace of this, whatever it is.
You converse kind of like idly here or there with Zalara.
Mm-hmm.
And you eventually kind of like fall into a long moment of silence that stretches minutes. And as you do, kind of like hear Zalara faintly begin to sing your mind. It doesn't seem especially specific. It's kind of meandering.
Mm-hmm.
But it's almost as if she's just kind of like humming some sort of tune or something like that. And after a moment, I say a moment, probably after a solid 30 seconds or so of this, there is a scenario where you feel a tingling about your person.
Mm-hmm.
Roll for me a religion check.
Religion. Why do I have a +4? Oh, I'm a smart boy now.
Smart boy. It matters.
19.
19's not bad.
I think that's the highest religion roll I've made this entire campaign.
That might be the highest religion roll anyone's made in this campaign. You guys
Ooh,
are a
Lord.
remarkably unreligious bunch in this particular campaign. Oh. I've played D&D
We don't
for
need no
so
gods.
many years that I feel
Mm.
like I'm used to there being like a cleric or a paladin or someone that's like a god believer,
Super
right? You know,
righteous.
that's got some sort of religion going on, and you guys were just like, nope, hard pass, moving on.
Fantasy world with a huge pantheon of gods? Nah.
That's fine.
Hey, I took history. You can all fuck off.
I also took history.
Sure. So,
I took none of those things.
you spend some time in this kind of state listening to Zalara kind of like hum idly this lilting elven tune, and you feel your body kind of tingle. You feel yourself kind of like it's a strange sensation. It's almost like you're both kind of like warm, right? But you're not, it's not uncomfortable, right? Like there is a warmth that kind of like fills you, but it's not pervasive. It doesn't like kind of like reach the exterior of your skin or anything like that, if that makes sense. But you hear with Zalara's kind of like humming tune as a backdrop, you hear this just kind of like very faint voice that says, and I wanna be like whisper, but I'm worried that Discord's not gonna catch me, right? But
Stage whispers.
it basically says very quietly, to the point to where it's almost kind of like difficult for you to make it out initially, right? Says, "You're doing good. Keep at it. I believe you'll." And then it kind of like cuts out, right? Like you're not sure. I hope that your friend finds what he's looking for. I know that these types of things can be... And then it cuts out again. Are you... And then it's kind of...
It's a radio station that's not properly tuned.
Kind of sort of. You feel, right, like you kind of going through this communion process, but you're not especially practiced with it. You're not especially devout, right?
No.
So it is kind of this strange, not uncomfortable necessary, but like unfamiliar situation. So you do establish some sort of connection, but maybe not as robust a connection as you were originally hoping for. That warmth after the kind of like that kind of communication that was attempted ends. Zalara keeps singing for another few minutes, kind of like idly to herself, obviously. And then she kind of like comes out of it and she starts talking. She says, "So, how long do you want to kind of stay here tonight?"
I don't know. I really didn't think about it. Just felt some kind of
You want to
draw
just you want to see if Taveran's around and maybe we can just like go punch something?
Yeah.
I mean, this is fine, but like, I'd rather,
Yeah. No, I feel that. Yeah. All right. And amen.
Yep. 2 of those.
Yep. And yeah, I'll get up, knees pop again. Oh God! Fuck. All right.
All right, old man.
Ugh. Ugh. All right, and I'll step out of the chamber, so whoever needs it next can go, and I'll ask one of
Yeah,
the
you ask
nearby
around.
people.
You're shown.
Is Taverin in this tonight?
You're asked around. You ask around. You're shown up to. I mean, you are now kind of like it's kind of a weird situation. You guys all earn these kind of like these rankings within these factions, and you are members of the factions, but you're also adventurers. You're full-time adventurers and part-time faction members.
Yeah.
Right. So you all have all these various little like titles and things like that, and the people that are involved are like, yeah, sure, yes, you are a this, but this is your side hustle. I'm a full-time jobber,
Yeah,
right?
this
Kind
is,
of
this
situation.
is
So you are at this point, your status is kind of like that of one of the Wardens of the Moon, and you're a known individual. The acolytes know who you are, like they're familiar with your face, even if they've never met you. So you're shown wherever you need to go almost immediately. And you see other higher ranking people like wardens and things like that that identify you, and they'll stop and talk to you should you so choose. But it's kind of like this odd scenario of like, oh, Ashes is around, gotcha, right? Like not like so you do find you do find Taverin, and Taverin is absolutely like, yeah, I was just gonna do some training and hit shit with people later anyways, so let's do it.
Hell yeah. It's been a while since we've been up top anyways, and the night is young, so
Yeah, that's fair.
how things been lately?
Oh, just what's the best way to put this? Space wyverns trying to harvest
Space
the
wyverns?
moon.
Space wyverns trying to harvest the moon.
Or
That is
space rocks.
Which one?
That's some crazy person talk.
Which moon?
Oh,
Yeah,
fuck.
which
He knows which moon, and he can immediately tell you. I
All right.
do not know which
Then
moon and
I
cannot
will-
immediately
I will,
tell you.
just assume that he told me which moon. Wow, that how do you handle something like that? Like, it's not like you can just send people to the moon. The specific one that you told me.
He looks at you and just kind of like blinks a few times. You can't?
So it's really hard at this point to be like, would Ashes even know that air is not available on moons? Or maybe it is in this world? I don't know.
I don't know that Ashes has any experience with space at all. Like, period. I think Matashtai might be the only individual that has any experience with space, and his experience
tons of
is
air. Just honestly more air. than
relatively limited. Ezrah
It's
as
so
like a
loud.
student of knowledge might have like a bookish understanding of the spheres, the planetary spheres, and how they operate, and the phlogiston, and the passages between these
Phlogiston.
crystals. So but I think for Ashes, you're just like, okay.
Yeah. I mean, if you would like to like go over the details while we're like sparring or doing whatnot, sure.
While you are going over the details, Taverin weaves you a story of basically a contingent of the Wardens of the Moon in conjunction with a group of the Grey Hands being ostensibly teleported to the surface of the moon and fighting a group it's kind of vague when he describes it. There's definitely a couple of them, but you're not sure how many. And the way that he describes them, you've seen a wyvern before, right? The way he describes them, they might as well be like ancient dragons in the size that he's describing them, right?
So they're very big wyverns.
Yes. And they're strange. They fly through space. But they're also kind of like oddly bipedal, right? Like they kind of like walk around and they have tools. They had like a little I see he says a little. It's like a massive construction site where they were like quarrying out the side of the moon. And they had a whole big fight, and they killed a bunch of space wyverns, and some of them flew off into space.
That is a lot cooler than what we've been doing. But I mean, we're just trying to get deeper. I mean, we found a magic school that was run by not Halaster.
Damn, they bring space wyverns and you bring up school.
School, yeah. We went to class.
We went to class.
And yeah, we're about to have a, as Vajra said, battle, not a war, with House Avrandar in
Again,
like
I'm
the
having
10th
a war.
like the 10th floor of the dungeon. So we got that to look forward to. This is our last time up here. We're up here for a few days before we head back down.
Interesting.
Yeah. I mean, it's not space wyverns interesting, but it's cool.
He looks at you and says, "Nothing space wyverns interesting."
That is true. That is true.
Definitely not cloud minotaurs or, you know, any of the other shit we've dealt with.
Well, I mean, I think the last time we were up, it was around the time we were doing stuff in the Slither Swamp. So, like, the stuff we've done since then is just Dramacore and beyond.
So, cloud minotaurs.
Yeah.
You
I
know,
choose to keep my story meek.
cloud minotaurs and undead like weaving monks, and you know,
Mhm.
A ball of appendages.
Gross.
you know,
Yeah.
ashes. You're not quite sure at the end of this little sparring session, at the end of this story, this recanting of the tale, that this is 100% true.
If Tavern would not lie to me.
Who
Bye,
knows?
Zach.
Okay. So,
All right. Yep.
spend some time doing that. And then a day passes. I say a day passes. I'm pretty sure Zach wanted to do something else at the end of the night. Was there anything else that Ezrah or Matashtai wanted to do before bedding down for the evening?
Negative. Aside from casting my dome.
Dome.
Don't think so, not at the moment.
Okay.
I pull Matashtai aside before bed. I pull him aside.
Mhm.
I say, Matthew. I finished the armor.
You finished it?
I finished it.
That's
I need you.
awesome.
I need you to do something though.
Okay, what?
I need you to spend the night Like, I need you to put your hands on it. I need you to trace your hands and draw your hands on it.
And
With-
just keep my hands there all night?
With your magic paints.
Oh, yeah, I can do that. Just
And I think you should make one of the hands white and one of them black.
Okay, I could do that. You want me to do that right now?
Yes.
Put down my bag of holding and reach in, pull out my pigments.
When you're doing it, and I want you to like think about like your hands, the harming and the healing. This is important.
Oh, okay.
This is for the magic.
Okay.
I need you to be
Oh.
connected to it. Maybe like put some of your skin in the armor too.
How about I do
What?
this? How about I hold up both my hands and I kind of channel healing key and harming key into each hand, and I say, how about I put my hands on it and you trace it while the magic is touching the armor.
Okay, we can do that. Just be careful because it's just still bone right now. I mean, it's nice bone, but it's just still bone.
Okay, well, I will not attempt to destroy the bone.
Matashtai
Necro
just
hand.
fucking disintegrates the shit out of the fucking
Just
armor.
boom.
One hand just
Everything
goes
we
straight
got.
through.
Jesus. I would...
Okay. Well, then I hand bones the pigments, and then I kind of channel key into my hands, one for harming, one for healing, and I place it on the armor.
I'm sorry, excuse me, did you punch him first?
I don't have to punch him.
Oh. Thought you had to punch
He just-
something to use your stuff.
I mean, I can use an action to do it.
I'm just playing. I'm just playing.
But yes, I will punch him just to
Boom!
make sure.
Okay.
Just like a real quick, like sack
Just
tap.
like a quick rabbit to the face. Just like, boom. Oh. Okay. Cool. Very nice. You know what? We've had fun tonight. Everyone gets that inspiration tonight. Because it's a holiday event, but also you guys have been playing.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. But you guys have also been playing to your characters. And what I will say in response to this particular situation is I want Bones and Matashtai to listen to me before they do anything.
Okay.
You're going to roll.
Making promises.
You're both going to roll a d4.
Okay.
If you roll the same number, if you roll in conjunction with each other, I will say that during this event, you are in sync and something greater will come out of this because of it.
Okay.
If you don't,
Okay.
there's no downside or anything like that. It's just that this moment, while cool, wasn't as deeply connecting or instilling as it otherwise could be. Okay?
Sure.
I will also say
That's an R. Sorry.
it's an R.
That's
That-
an R.
that this is something that you guys could use your inspiration on if you so chose. So, let's go ahead and just roll our first set of d4s.
I was close.
Very close.
How many of these are we rolling?
That's it.
Just the one. If you want to use an inspiration, I will say if one of you uses an inspiration, you can both roll again.
What if can I let him roll, see what he gets, and then decide?
No, I'm saying if one of you uses an inspiration, you both get to roll again. Period.
One
Yeah,
inspiration
I hear
for
you,
another
but
attack.
can we choose whether we roll or not while the other person rolls?
Oh no, it's you both roll or nothing.
Okay.
You don't get to keep the previous one. This is just a chance to do it again, basically. If someone wants to use one
All right.
inspiration,
I'll use an inspiration. We'll try again.
Okay.
Because
What's
we
the
want
percentage
to
chance
match,
of this
right?
working?
yeah, you're trying
Yeah.
to match. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. I'm ready.
Ready?
On the same
Set.
wavelength.
Go. Damn.
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 Always one away.
We tried.
Still got one more inspiration.
Yeah, whatever. Fuck it. Let's do it. Why not?
It's not like I intentionally
Alright.
it's not like I intentionally gave you guys the inspiration with the idea of let's give him 3 chances. This might not go well.
I don't
All
know.
right, this is the one. I
This is
believe.
the one. Okay, here we go.
Let's go.
And bro. It's taking a
Fuck!
while to catch up.
Fuck.
Damn. Well, the
Unfortunate.
chance of that happening, I think, is pretty low. If I'm honest with you.
We tried.
It was
Yeah, we
it was
did
an
what we
honest
could.
effort. And a cool moment regardless. So that situation happens. Bones and Matashtai work for a while together. Matashtai channels his hand of healing and hand of harm. And Bones traces the initial portions with the pigments, and the Matashtai is able to finish up once the initial portions are created. And at the end, you have the finished armor, right? With these kind of like markings of Matashtai. And now the armor just has to be enchanted, and it will be complete. So that is very, very cool. So it is at this point that we get to go through the motions of all the other stuff that we get to do every night. So I need everyone to roll me a Constitution saving throw and a Wisdom saving throw.
Constitution and wisdom, you said, right?
Yep.
Oh yeah, might have succeeded on those.
Constitution.
Damn.
Wisdom.
Spro rolled a 0.
Hey,
It can't be good, dude.
are we gonna have to start treating you with wisdom saves like we treat Jay with Constitution saves?
Might
This is
have
the only
to.
character. This is the only time I've told you I despise not having wisdom. This is painful.
Oh, fuck. My
And
goodness.
this has been the whole gimmick with Ezra.
Holy fuck.
Oh, such is life.
You all sleep for the evening, resting, trying to prepare yourselves for the coming days, contemplate your plans, what you need to actually accomplish to meet your goals, what you need to get done idly just because you need to get it done, and other things give you faces, individual problems, your own individual quests. Ezra, it's really hard. It's really hard
That's a weird thing to say.
What she
to
said, I think.
Oh yeah, baby, it's hard.
it's really difficult
There we go.
to run these types of ideas and calculations and thoughts and everything. It's just difficult when there's so much noise coming from the tavern below you. It's just really frustrating. Even the dome up, you're safe, that's fine and everything like that, but the patrons in the yawning portal are just too damn loud.
Yeah, agreed.
do I think I'm in the yawning portal, or am I in the yawning portal?
Late that evening, you packed up a little travel bag and
Fucking hell.
made your way through the city streets, down the high road, into the castle ward, and into a bustling tavern. The night of midwinter, boisterous, and you had to argue with Durnan a little bit in order to actually get a room, because in theory they were full up, but you would take no for an answer, which isn't
How much did
exactly
this cost
Ezra
me?
like. It cost you 10 gold.
That's what I expected. 1 plat down.
You feel better, though. Your mind
Mhm.
calmer, being in such close
Close proximity.
proximity.
Yep, I understand what's happening.
And I think that is a decent enough place for us to go ahead and end tonight's episode. When we convene next...
I recast my dome.
Yeah, don't back up. Absolutely. When we reconvene next, we'll have, in theory, a couple of days of downtime activity, where we'll probably try to roll through the motions of day-to-day activities. So everyone do try to be prepared for those things. Try to come with a plan. But also, in between now and then, probably need to discuss what plan there is for figuring out what's happening next and how to go about doing that thing. If the plan is to find a way to Dalcor, which I think is kind of the next objective that's laid before the party, probably need to try to figure out how to go about doing that. So, that is going to be it for tonight's episode of Dungeons and Mad Mage. Thanks for hanging out. See you next time. Bye, everybody.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, consider leaving a like, commenting, or subscribing. It really helps me out. If you'd like to see me live, head over to my Twitch at twitch.tv/thedistanthorizon.